Hello, this is a description of ARC 5717, Mapping as Critical Practice, a seminar offered at the University of Virginia School of Architecture and taught by me, Devin Dobrowolski, an assistant professor at the School of Architecture. So Mapping as Critical Practice is a seminar that's open both to graduate and undergraduate students at the School of Architecture, as well as to students from other schools at the University of Virginia who are interested in learning how contemporary cartographic practices can inform their own research and methodology for design and research projects. The structure of the course follows a general arc in which students learn strategies for sourcing and evaluating geospatial data. We will learn about data types, what they can tell us, and how they are used. Next, we'll focus on graphic strategies for representing large and small-scale data sets through a series of spatial research-focused exercises. In learning how to represent data, we will introduce concepts related to the history and development of cartographic conventions, including geometric projection and scale, line, point, and symbol types, as well as methods for modeling and representing the complex terrain of the Earth's surface. In doing so, we'll engage contemporary examples of cartographic research, as well as critical and theoretical texts that come primarily from the fields of architecture, landscape architecture, art, and linguistics as a framework for developing and applying methodology for cartographic and spatial research. Finally, we'll develop tools for editing and reprocessing data sets as an act of critical appropriation, while also developing methods for creating our own data sets. This process is intended to demystify the relationship between spatial data and the contemporary, primarily digital tools we use to translate them graphically. In doing so, the goal of the course is not to produce experts in the use of a particular software, but rather to establish a working method for creating graphic arguments that are spatial in nature and which are instrumental in the construction of knowledge grounded in the built environment. This semester, two of the projects we'll develop during the course will be framed within some of the research methods I've developed and used in recent projects, in which will provide a foundation for students who wish to use mapping as a tool for their own thesis or independent research work. The first project will revisit a seminal but overlooked study published by the MIT Press in 1966 by Joseph R. Passano and Richard Saul Wurman. Urban Atlas 20 American Cities attempted to combine the spatial data gathering capabilities of U.S. satellite technology, census and demographic data to produce a spatialized portrait of the 20 largest American cities at the time. Using this study as a foil, students will reconstruct a contemporary portrait of these 20 cities, learning how to make critical graphical assessments of the spatial, social, and institutional patterns shown by this publicly available data at the local and federal level. And in another exercise, students will be asked to reconcile scale at the local and global level by researching a resource of their choosing and mapping its global footprint. For this exercise, we'll be referencing international trade data consolidated by the Observatory of Economic Complexity, an online data visualization and distribution platform that compiles and distributes international trade data from a variety of sources. Through this exercise, students will be challenged with thinking about spatial implications of specific resources, industry, and cultural habits at a global scale. This research dovetails with some of the methods developed for work produced with Semantic Collaborative for the 2019 Chicago Architecture Biennial, which traced the development of key natural resources in South America and their associated urban projects. The course will take place on Wednesday evenings from 6 p.m. to 8:30 p.m., and required and supplemental readings for the course will be provided digitally at no cost. On the production side of the course, we'll be using primarily Esri's ArcGIS Pro software, which is available to download at no cost through the UVA Scholars Lab. Additionally, some familiarity with and access to the Adobe Creative Cloud is highly recommended, and a yearly access to this software is available at a highly discounted rate from Cavalier Computers. I look forward to seeing you all this fall.